How's it going, guys? It's your boy JoJo's Whips back with another video, and on today's video I'm going to be pretty much showing you guys some clips of the car finally running. This is a single turbo Audi S4 B5 and it is running on a Haltech Elite 2500 ECU, and you know, it's a standalone. It's not piggybacking or anything, it's just a straight up standalone in here. But so as you guys can see, it's not running right now because I ran into a little bit of an issue a couple days ago. And what had happened was so the car had been running for a little over a week. I got some clips of like me driving the car on the inside, and I was actually supposed to take a video on the day it actually broke. I was supposed to take a video of it, like, you know, on the outside, and I was gonna have my wife also take videos of me doing some flybys and then also doing maybe like a little POV. But we never ended up getting to do it because I had thought that the clutch had went out because on the other day in the morning, a couple days ago in the morning, I was driving and I had stopped at a stop sign about a half mile from my house, and I had made a sharp right after the stop sign, and I was in first gear. You know, I wasn't going fast at all, and after I made the tight right, I went to give the car a little bit of gas to get it in a second, and it just wasn't moving at all. It just rolled to a stop. The car was still running, but I could not get the car in first, second, third, fourth. I tried putting it in every single gear, and then it would like kind of like move a little bit, like not really move, but it would just do like a little rumble feeling. So I assumed that the clutch had went out, which, you know, this car has an RS4 6-puck in it. It was done a long time ago. It was done back, I think, in 2015 or 2016, maybe even older. No, actually, I think it was done in 2013. I don't know. It was a long time ago. That was before I had the car. But so I kind of was already prepared that the clutch had to be replaced, which, you know, right when that happened a couple days ago, I already ordered a Stage 5 Ringer Racing clutch, and then also a whole transmission rebuild kit, because I did notice a couple of the synchros were going bad because it's kind of hard to get in first, second, and third. But so yeah, I ordered all that stuff, and then I had somebody that actually watches my videos by the name of Aaron was texting me on the messenger, and he was just asking, you know, like about my setup and whatnot. And then I had to explain the situation to him, and then he had said, he was like, oh, you know, I had a similar problem and I thought it was my clutch as well, but it ended up being an axle. So then when he had said that, I sat there and I was like, wait a minute. When I actually took the axles out the other day, as you guys could tell, you know, obviously took the axles out, which I had actually already started to pretty much get ready to take the transmission out, which is why I took the axles and drive shaft off, which the drive shaft is here, and then the axles I already sent off to get rebuilt to Raxels over in Gainesville. But after he said that, I was kind of like, well, when he told me that, I noticed that my passenger side axle was pretty broken. So that, I'm guessing, was my issue. So we're just waiting on to get those axles back from Raxels, which they're actually probably about 45 minutes from me. So, you know, hopefully maybe I could, you know, I was gonna see maybe tomorrow morning I could call them and see how fast they'd get done, and maybe I could just pick them up. But yeah, so I do have some clips of the car. But I'm gonna say one thing: this car is a lot of fun to drive, but we are having a couple issues. So the car is over boosting now. My stepdad, and then also yeah. So I was talking to my stepdad about the over boosting, and he had said that since it's a twin scroll setup, kind of pretty much, you know, like both of the exhaust manifolds, that they both merge into one, and then that's where the wastegate is, that maybe it might just not be, I don't know. He said he had said something about that might be causing something with the over boosting. So I did actually put a lighter wastegate spring in there to see if maybe that'll help with the over boosting. And then I actually already went over all the lines again on the vacuum line side and just checked that. And then I also checked the wastegate to see if it was, you know, if the wastegate was maybe broken, which it's a tile wastegate, and they're really, you know, a really reputable brand. So, and it was a brand new one, so, you know, it didn't have any issues. So hopefully that was just the issue, that it just needs a lighter spring and, you know, just was too much exhaust pressure or whatnot. I don't know. But hopefully once we get the axles in, and then we could drive the car again, and then hopefully I won't bump into that over boosting problem again that way. So I was able to get it up to about like 5,600 RPM, and then it hits the boost cut, which I think these cars rev out a little bit higher than that. But yeah, when it hits that boost cut, it kind of sucks, because it's like, well, shoot, you know, I kind of really want to start pushing the car a little bit, but I do not want to bump into any issues. But yeah, I was real happy when the guy at Aaron had told me that that's an axle issue, because I wasn't really looking forward to taking the transmission out already. You know, with it just being running maybe like a little over a week, I was really let down on that. I was kind of like, well, shoot, you know, but I was already getting prepared. I already started ripping everything apart, you know, and just getting ready. And then, but yeah, so as soon as we get those axles in, then I'll do a full-on driving video and stuff. And then I also do have to get this IAT sensor put in, because the factory one that this car has, my tuner / wiring guy, he couldn't get that one to calibrate at all with the ECU. He couldn't get the, you know, he couldn't get it to communicate at all with the ECU, the audio one. So he told me just get this GM one, and then we could just I could have it welded onto the charge pipe, so that way we can see the IATs. Which, that's another thing I will say, is that the charge pipes on this car, I mean, whenever I pop the hood, because every time I drive it, I always pop the hood just to make sure everything looks good, make sure there's a fluid still in it, make sure it's not leaking anything. And I will say that the charge pipe usually is pretty cool compared to everything else, which is, you know, that's a very good thing, because, you know, the car is probably getting some real good air in there, nice, efficient, cool air. But yeah, and then, as I did say, the car is set up on 15 pounds of boost for now, because, you know, also too, the car hasn't been running in, you know, almost 6 or 7 years, so we kind of want to just baby it for a little bit. And then, you know, once we get that overboosting situation handled, and then, you know, I'll put a little bit of miles on it, then we'll start turning it up. And then once that clutch starts slipping and stuff, I already have that. The Ringer Racing clutch should be here, maybe. I think it said sometime next week, because it shipped yesterday. So at least I'll have everything ready transmission wise. So, you know, so as soon as it does start slipping, I could just pull it out on a day, and then just bring it over to my transmission shop, and they can get it all swapped over. And but yeah, I mean, the car is honestly, it sounds so good and stuff. But so then the other thing is too, is I don't have a full exhaust on the car yet, which this week the car was supposed to get one put on. But with that whole axle situation, you know, the whole time I thought it was clutch related, and then just literally maybe a few hours ago I found out that it's an axle issue. So hopefully I can get those axles pretty quick, so then that way I could bring it to the shop I sometimes deal with, and they could do that exhaust for me, so then that way the car won't be so loud. Because right now the car pretty much just you guys can see the downpipe right here, just stops right there, which is pretty much basically like right about here. So the car is super loud, which, I mean, I don't mind it, but at the same time, you know, I like to kind of not really be too loud. I kind of want to just be able to just kind of cruise and not really have too much droning going on. But yeah, hopefully within next week or the week after, I could do actually a full-on video of the car with it running and driving. And it finally does look like a car now, with the front bumper, the headlights all put on. I did actually pick up this RS4 grill. It's a brand new one. I got to get that put in, but I'm not going to put it on yet until the car is done, because, and then I actually have to get these my new grill inserts put in, and then I got to get these cut up. And don't worry guys, I do have another set of these that are pretty much brand new almost. So, you know, these are kind of just like the rough looking ones. And yeah, we got to cut them, and then it's going to have like a whole, I don't know, it's going to look nice. I'll include a picture right here actually, so you guys can see how it's going to look. And then you guys saw how it looks, so that's how this front's going to pretty much look. I've always loved that look, and especially too, since that grill it's a honeycomb grill, and it's the same grill as this. So, you know, this RS4 grill is a honeycomb. That's going to be a honeycomb, so it all ties in together. And then yeah, then hopefully then you know, if everything goes well with the car after that, after I get the IAT in, we get the boost cut situation figured out, and then, you know, I'm sure a couple other problems might arise as well. But hopefully everything else goes well with the car, and you know, maybe I can start messing with some of the interior, getting some new seats and whatnot. So the car is actually boost wise, the car is getting into boost pretty quickly. I'd say, you know, it's not, I mean, it's not that quick, but it's getting into full boost about 37 to 3,800 RPM. It's at full boost then. But honestly, those little clips that you guys did see too, honestly, I wasn't really driving the best because, you know, it is kind of hard to, you know, record and drive at the same time, especially since this is my first manual car, which is also another reason why too. I thought, you know, it was clutch related, my problem. But yeah, as soon as we get the new axles put in, and you know, really, you know, cross our fingers that that was actually the issue, which I wouldn't doubt it if that was the issue. I read on plenty of forums and stuff that you know, the front diffs in this car, I think it was like a torsion diff or something, so it relies on torque, and you know, with one of them being broken, that it just would not move or engage in gear or whatnot. But yeah, as soon as we get those axles in, I'm gonna take videos probably the same day, so then that way I could just make sure I at least get some sort of content for you guys, just in case it does break again or something else happens. Because, you know, if you guys do know, the B5 S4 life, that's what it is all about. But besides for the axle problem, this car was driving good for the past week. I've been driving it every single day. The day after it got tuned, I was driving it every single day for a minimum of an hour. And then what was it, on Wednesday I actually went to a car show, but I was gonna have the car in the car show, but they ended up not, you know, I ended up just getting there too late, and then the car show was already too packed. So but yeah, I mean, besides for that, the car is running so good. But we just got to figure a couple issues out, get those axles in. Once we get those axles in, then we could address the boost cut, and then, you know, we get the IAT sensor in so we can see those IAT temps. So then that way we can see how efficient my air to water setup is. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please like, comment, and subscribe. This is JoJo's Whips, and I'm out.